Harvard Divinity School.
Compassion in Action, Addressing Discrimination Through the Lens of Buddhist Teachings, April 23rd, 2024.
Good evening, everyone. Tashi Delik, and we also have a lot of pagoda and chai here, so don't worry. Even during the talk, you can come and grab some if you want. So my name is Tenzing Gyurme. I am a former Buddhist Ministry Initiative International Fellow here, and I'm currently a candidate for Master of Theological Studies, a master program here at Howard Divinity School. And on this beautiful evening today, I would like to, on behalf of HDS Tibetan students, and also on behalf of Howard Divinity School, I would like to extend a very warm and hearty welcome to Kyabjé Yongzin Ling Rinpoche and his entourage. So we are really fortunate to have Rinpoche here today, even though Rinpoche has already a confirmed schedule all over the North America. And so first of all, I would like to thank Rinpoche and his entourage for making time to come here at Harvard Divinity School and share his wisdom with us. And our special thanks also go to Office of Buddhist Ministry Initiative for sponsoring this event. Jonathan is not here today, but we have Reverend Dr. Monica Sanford here. Thank you so much for your contribution and your support. And also our special thank goes to Office of Ministry Studies, HDS, and Professor Janet Gyatso and Professor Charles Hallisey have been your support and contribution. Without that, we couldn't have initiated this talk today. And my special thanks also go to Kurukula Buddhist Center, Medford. The resident teacher, Geshe Tenle, is here today, and the directors, members, especially to manager Tsewang Rigzin Lao for driving Rinpoche here and all the logistics. So our special thanks goes to them. And I also want to take this opportunity to introduce our small HDS Tibetan students group here. So I have here Venerable Dorji Terma, who's the MDiv. Tamala, can you rise up and say hello to everyone? And where is Sharab Chimbe? I think he's waiting at the door to let the guests come in, so you will see him soon. And we also have Balden here, who's a first year MDiv student. A big applause to Balden Lao. And also Lobsang Denzin, maybe he's not here. I think he's also at the door. And also our special thanks go to AV team for your technical support and covering the event. And Laren Gao, our friend, for taking the photograph. And also we have some representative from Harvard Tibetan Cultural Association. Some of them are also here. So this is my note of thanks. And also one announcement, at the end of the Rinpoche's talk, there will be opportunity for everyone to ask questions. And when at the end of question and session, Rinpoche will personally, if anyone is interested to receive a protection code or string from Rinpoche, you are welcome to stay back and receive it. So I now would like to invite Dr. Monica Sanford, Office of Ministry, Buddhist Ministry Initiative, to come and welcome Rinpoche.
Thank you very much. So we're very honored and proud to be able to welcome Ling Rinpoche to give this lovely address for us here at Harvard Divinity School. The Buddhist Ministry Initiative was established through a generous grant from the Robert H. and Ho Family Foundation in 2011. And since then, and through their generosity, we've been able to bring wonderful international fellows to study here at Harvard Divinity School, such as Tengye Rinpoche and Domala, and many, many others. We're also very grateful to them because through them, they are able to connect us with wonderful teachers like Ling Rinpoche and others of their traditions and lineages. So it is without these students, we wouldn't be able to bring Ling Rinpoche here. So this really is a labor of love on their part, and we're just happy to be able to support them to make these offerings possible. I'm going to invite Janet Gyatso up, Dr. Gyatso, to introduce Ling Rinpoche, and then we will have his wonderful talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica, and thank you, Tengyur Rinpoche, so much for organizing this fantastic event. I'm so happy to be able to welcome Ling Rinpoche here. As some of you know, he is the tuku, or the reincarnation of the tutor of the current Dalai Lama, who passed away some time ago, before he was born. But that's how it works. Who is an absolute major person in the history of Tibetan Buddhism in the 20th century, an amazing Lama. I never had the opportunity to meet his reincarnation, but it's a great honor to meet him today. And it's a great honor to see the Tibetan reincarnation system, how it works and how it's functioned, and it's still alive and very vital today. So thank you so much for coming. We're really looking forward to your talk. I'm going to read your bio to the audience. His Eminence the Seventh, Kyabjé Yongzin Ling Rinpoche, was born in India, November 18th, 1985. So that's sometime after the previous Lama had died. He was taken to the Tibetan children's village in Dharamsala after his mother died and stayed there until His Holiness the Dalai Lama recognized him as the reincarnation of his principal teacher, His Holiness the Sixth Kyabjé Yongzin Ling Rinpoche, who passed away in 1983. The seventh Yongzin Ling Rinpoche entered Drepung Monastic University in South India in 1990 when he was 5 years old, and he began his monastic studies there at the age of 10. Rinpoche received his Geshe degree in November 2016, which is approximately equal to a PhD, and enrolled at Gyuto Tantric College in Dharamsala, India in April 2017 for a year of tantric studies that traditionally follows the completion of a Geshe degree. He completed his studies in February 2018. During his studies, the seventh Yongzin Ling Rinpoche spent periods of time in retreat. In 1991, Ling Rinpoche gave his first teaching in South Korea. Since then, he has given teachings and tantric initiations in many countries in Asia and Europe, Canada, the United States, Mexico, Israel, Australia, New Zealand, Mongolia, and Russia, as well as Tibetan settlements throughout India and Nepal, and Himalayan regions, including Ladakh and Mun Tawang, which is in Arunachal Pradesh. Rinpoche has also organized and attended many important Buddhist events. He organized His Holiness the Dalai Lama's historic series of Changchup Lamrim teachings on the 18 classic stages of the path to enlightenment treatises. They were held at Sera Drepung Ganden and Tashi Lumpo monasteries between 2012 and 2015, with approximately 40,000 people from 63 to 70 countries attending each year. And starting in 2004, His Holiness Ling Rinpoche also participated in the Mind and Life Institute dialogues held in India between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and scientists on a variety of topics such as physics, neuroplasticity, and destructive emotions. In 2005, Rinpoche has attended international events dedicated to preserving Buddhist tradition, including the World Peace Puja in Bodh Gaya, and in 2011, the International Conference on Vinaya in Varanasi. In 2011. In 2017, His Holiness joined His Holiness the Dalai Lama and other Buddhist leaders at a 3-day international Buddhist conference on the relevance of Buddhism in the 21st century, organized by the Indian Government Ministry of Culture and the Navanalanda Mahavihara. In November 2012, while driving to Goa Airport to greet His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who had arrived to give Changchup Lamrim teachings, Ling Rinpoche was in a serious car accident that included a fatality Rinpoche sustained severe injuries that required lengthy surgeries, and his complete recovery took several years. But as we can see, he's now in glowing health, and we're so happy to listen to his teachings today. So.
Thank you so much, Professor Kyatsola. And now may I request Rinpoche to please share your wisdom and insight on compassion and action. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me today to speak on the topic of compassion in action. I think this is a very important subject and very relevant in today's world, where we see a lot of so much. Although there's so much of material development in this world that we enjoy, but also there is increasing number of problems and sufferings. So this needs to be addressed. This needs to be challenged through different methods, and the most effective way to approach that is through compassion. So this is a very important subject that I was asked to speak about, and I will try my best to share my thoughts and my ideas. I don't know whether it will be effective or helpful for you. And also that I have never really had a formal English class. So there may be some misunderstanding, or there may be some things that I may be trying to say something, but you may take it in a different way. So I would like to apologize that from the beginning, and also there's a time for question answer, so maybe we can, if there are any doubts, that we can clarify on that those matters, and so excuse me for that. So you can hear me clear? Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of problems in this world, and lot of conflicts, different reasons. Some are through religious matters. Different religions, they have conflict. Different races have conflict. People with different colors, we differentiate and have problems. And so if I really count, I think this is really countless, because there are different levels of problems that humans face, whether it is in the social level or whether it is in the within families, within communities, within countries, many conflicts. And root cause of all these problems are mainly because we like to differentiate and we like to feel different from the other. Like, say like, if I am a Buddhist, then I would think they are like Christian or Muslim or Hinduism or Jew, and I will try my best to differentiate and see myself the correct way and the others in a wrong way. As same as that, like in colors, if you are white, then you would think the other people with other colors are not mature enough or not, how should I put it, not mature, or not, how should I put it? No? No, that's member.
So in this community, we have different levels of discriminations against color and races, where we look at some particular people with colors we look down upon.
Look down, yes, that's the correct word, yeah. So like that. And then if you are, so in many areas that we like to differentiate, and then we feel that we are correct and the others are wrong, and that others should follow your way. And if they do not follow the way you think, then they are a disaster, or they are, this is very common in this world. And due to this negative way of thinking, we really create so much problems. And then those who do not follow your way of thinking, we like to eliminate them. And to the point where all these kind of different even war or sort of the different conflicts in this world which we are facing now, our root cause is all of that. So this needs to be approached, and this needs to be approached through a very logical way. Buddhism can play, Buddhism can play a very important role in this. As we speak about love and compassion, which is a very, very good subject and very helpful. And because love and compassion is within us, every one of us, we have the potential to make it more 잠지 삼바티기 밀리아 가서 강일 동네 제일 배 초도 기부지.
So the thought of love and compassion is actually the main power or the tool for us to encounter and challenge our problems in society and day-to-day life.
So all these conflicts and problems are due to lack of love and compassion. If there is maximum love and compassion in our world, there will be no conflict, there will be no killing, there will be no discrimination. Because when we speak about love and compassion, we really see the others as your own friend. And when Buddhism speaks about love and compassion, this is not sort of conditional love, right? Not for your own family and your own friends, but love and compassion for all living creatures or mother sentient beings. So which will include all the communities, all the different races, different color of people, different religion, from a Buddhist perspective, everyone is same. Everyone is everyone is from a Buddhist perspective, every living creature is your friend or your sort of that
So we have to look at every sentient being as your friend or dear ones.
yeah, loved or dear ones. And when we see everyone as your loved and your dear ones, then there will be no way that you can go against them or that you will have any negative thoughts about them. And this teaching or this method is very effective. And in the past, so many great teachers have practiced that and achieved a very good result from that and was able to benefit so many countless of beings through this method. So this kind of method needs to be promoted in this world. Very sadly, this is not being highlighted in this difficult time of human history. When we have to solve a problem, then we always try to use some kind of material things or some kind of force in order to win someone's hearts. But this is totally wrong. So the world needs to really highlight and speak about love and compassion and spread the word of love and compassion. This is very important. Also, the Buddhist teaching of non-violence is very much relevant in this world because non-violence in every level, not only in world conflicts, but even within a family, within a couple, husband and a wife, in order to live harmoniously, the approach should be non-violent. Because if violence is the method, then the result is suffering. And the suffering is something really miserable, something which will hurt yourself and the person who's right next to you. So in order to create some kind of a peaceful or harmonious community or harmonious family, it is important that we use the method of non-violence, which is very, very effective. And Buddha spoke non-violence very importantly. He has told his followers that the approach of non-violence should be our sort of
So the non-violent has to be one of the principal approach when it comes to Buddhist practice in dealing with any situations.
Our way of life should be, Buddha said that our way of life should be truthful, right? We should be, because when we say, when we are not truthful, right, then we are trying to gain something from someone else through using some kind of approach.
No.
Some kind of
And not only the non-violence, whatever the approach we took, standpoint we took, it has to be based on truth.
Tawati khasarbe tawati tinjung thang choba khasar choba chawa me batang tawati tinjung tawati tinjung sidu changdeng lam shuwe.
One of the main Buddhist principle is that The profound view is usually we say Tibetan origination, that everything is Tibetan upon another, and one's way of behavior as a Buddhist should be non-violent. But when we talk about one's view as a Tibetan horizon, it literally means that it has to be based on the foundation of truth.
Yes, so our way of thinking should be truth. When we say dependent origin, right, that means our way of life should be truthful. But the approach should be non-violent. So if these two sort of teachings, if we can put into practice, then we can live a happy life. And happy life is our goal, each and every one of us. We may have different titles, we may have different way of lives, but every one of us, we agree on a happy life. So these two methods are very effective and very reasonable. And even one does not have to be a Buddhist to live kasota. One does not have to be a Buddhist to approach these two ways of lifestyle.
No, right. No, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes. So this is very effective, and even one who rejects religion, right? Someone who's known as atheist, also accepts a happy life. So, and also they can accept these two kind of methods, being truthful and approach non-violent. So I think compassion in action is through a truthful and through a non-violent approach. Then we can make the compassion into action, and we can overcome all the problems in this world, such as wars, conflicts between different races, religion, color, or etc., etc. And I think this must be takanda the 잠지 삼바세 등한주 시부지 점불린 캬베체 시부게 좀.
So as a Buddhist, it is very important for us to promote the idea of love and compassion. Not just being Buddhist. I mean, not everybody doesn't need to be a Buddhist in order to do that.
We need to promote love and compassion. Our goal is not to convert people into Buddhism. We respect all religion, and also that I feel that even it is not relevant if everyone becomes Buddhism. They must keep their own tradition, their own religion. This is better for the individual. But I think using the Buddhist methods can be helpful in order to live a happier and a healthier life. So I feel this is something we need to highlight and we need to promote. And I think this is very relevant in this time of human history where we see so many difficulties. Even like global warming, right? Where we see so much of earthquake, what do you call it? Tornado, right? And floods and fire. And these are very serious problems. And root cause of that is lack of love and compassion. Because people lack love and compassion and they become very greedy and they want to make more money. And then they totally neglect the environment. And for their own benefit, they will totally neglect the world environment, and they will do all sort of those kuyulia nangme tangche ani ta sota ta tinde mangu chene ani tunsu kange dus che rishas.
So due to human greed, we see that, and also a lot of continuous growth of industrializations, factories, and so on, which really harms the ecology of the world.
And also, like when we have these very, very big financial crisis, those are also due to lack of love and compassion. Due to lack of love and compassion, then those people in these areas, they totally neglect morality, and they corrupt, and at the end we face all these kind of financial crisis, and due to that it will affect the health of people. And since everything is very much dependent in this world nowadays, especially in this modern time, it affects every area, and it affects every level of people. And this is all due to lack of love and compassion. So we really need to make this love and compassion into action. When I say we need to make love and compassion into action, we really need to put into practice and try our best to become a good human being, and to be kind, and to love everyone. Because if you love everyone, then everyone will love you. When everyone loves you, then you are happy. And this is the best way approach. What? So I feel if we practice love and compassion, we will be able to solve all the problems in this world, including diversity. Including, I may not need to mention each and every problem, but I think this can be very effective. And so I encourage everyone in this world to please practice love and compassion and promote love and compassion for the better world of the future for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rinpoche, for your teaching. And so we have a lot of time for question and answer. But before that, I would love to request Professor Janet Yaso to please come and hand over the letter on the behalf of Harvard Divinity School to express our appreciation for Rinpoche to coming here and give the talk.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor, for offering the letter. And now, so we have 2 microphones on each side. Shambhala, do you have the microphones? Yeah. Shula Sajik. So we have 1 microphone on that side. Sharab, you can go through that lane, and 1 here. So please, any questions? We begin with you. Please say your name, and then you can ask the question. So who's coming first? Yeah, we have 1 question. Sharab, over there. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that you are allowed to ask questions. Don't be so serious. Yeah, please.
Hi, thank you for the teaching, Rinpoche. And my question was about, I'm sure you've already realized this and have seen it throughout the years, but in Myanmar, the monk Ashin Wiratu has been promoting all these sorts of violence and persecution against the Muslim minority there in Burma. And so I was wondering, Rinpoche, I know His Holiness the Dalai Lama has already sort of disavowed Ashin Waratu's teachings and his methods. But I wanted to ask you personally, Rinpoche, what are your thoughts? How can one reconcile being a monk with all this promotion of discrimination and violence?
Yes, I have very little knowledge what's happening in Burma, you know. I know there are a lot of problems there, but in order to comment anything, I need to really know the facts. And I feel that, but anyone who promotes violence is wrong. Whether it is a Buddhist, whether it's a non-believer, whether it's following any religion, is wrong, I think. And whether it is wrong or not, the whole community, the whole world community will make the judgment. And this is something which needs any kinds of violence, whoever does it, whether it's a Buddhist monk or whether it's a non-Buddhist monk or whether it's a non-believer, must stop, because he or she will have to pay the consequences.
Thank you. We have one question over here. Baldenla.
Thank you for your teaching. I have one question with like maybe a second specific part. I'm wondering what, based on your experience, you've seen as the most effective ways to promote love and compassion, particularly in the context of our current society and the cultural and political contexts. And then kind of more specifically, it seems like a lot of the people who do promote violence or who accept violence being promoted or enacted do so because they believe maybe that it's necessary somehow for their safety or well-being. And I'm wondering if you have any advice on how you would help somebody to overcome that belief and find alternatives. So thank you.
What was your question? Oh, good question. Yes. Yes, I know this. That's why compassion action is not easy. We do need to protect ourselves, but at the same time, we should not hurt anyone. And but it really depends on the situation, you know. It's very difficult to comment. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. Is suppose someone is trying to hit you, then you try to escape and protect, but not hit him back, hit him or her. Yeah. So, but it really depends on the situation. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche, for the talk and the teaching and just being here. It's very wonderful. So my teacher, Gelk Rinpoche, would say, for Westerners, think of all beings as your children rather than your mother, because sometimes Westerners are kind of have weird relationships with our mothers. So thing happens. So, think of everyone as your children, because that's sometimes a little easier. And so I'm thinking of like a parent, and they have kids that are fighting, and the parent has to stop it and get it in, stop the fighting. But if the parent just says, stop fighting, it's not good, you need to be peaceful and walk away, kids are going to start fighting again as soon as the parent walks away. So do you think, obviously this is an analogy, but how the parent, what the parent needs to do extra to make sure the kids don't fight anymore, rather than just say, oh, stop it. Does that make sense at all?
제가 고전 노초 롱발이야 아니지 샘제 담제 랑게 마곰세 디 되고요 말스 디 샘제 담제 소소 부투나 신진다고 그랬어 다이네 아마지 톤에 부 펜즈는 유 자리 쇼보다 저버치도 좀 받아 자리 마야 주고 칸에 랍데와 이나디 팽게멘도스 다츠와 비전 마당 바에 나는 탑시 좀 가르쳐 그랬어 부고서 자리 마야야 추고 마야야
See,
그 더우지 인사래 그 더우지 인사래
no. If I have understood you well, so when there's conflict within the children, so what should be the approach, right? Whether you use violence or not, right?
Yeah, how do you do it?
How to deal with that, right? Yeah. So, see, all these are all like, as I said, it's really depends on the situation. But we really need to train the children in a very good environment, which is lacking, I think. Like a video game, suppose, is all about shooting, killing, target, like whatever, destroy that building or destroy that like a monster. So it's all about so much of anger, so much of, so these are really, I think, very bad for the children's brain. So we really need to raise our children in a very good environment, very compassionate, very tolerant. And that's why, I'm very sorry to say, but like when I was asked to come to America, I thought that it was like, oh, if I go there, will I get shot? No. There's nothing to laugh about, So this is America is a great country, but it is also the fact that, you might get shot for no reason. So this is not, it didn't happen suddenly, right? But because of how they raise children, I think there's a lack how you deal with it, and we really need to take it seriously. And things like that. So why the children are getting violent, for what reason? We really need to do a thorough investigation, and really take it seriously. Yeah.
So we have one question from Professor Gyatso here.
One question I have about the practice of compassion, and it could be any kind of compassion. I myself, I'm very especially feel compassion for animals in general and the huge suffering that animals undergo, especially in the world today. And that in order to have compassion and also in order to do something effectively, you need to see what the suffering is. And a lot of times, for example, when people eat meat, for example, they don't remember or they don't even know the horrible suffering that the animal goes through in order to produce this meat. However, when you see this suffering, for example, so if you were to go to the slaughterhouse, it is almost unbearable. And so my question is really, when you're developing compassion, you start to see the suffering, so much suffering. How do you bear that? How do you manage that sorrow that you feel you're trying to be a good person, but you have so much sorrow because so much suffering? How do you bear that? Almost can't bear to see. So that's my question.
How to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
가르쳐나 닝지 곰도 좀 생기 동네도 통고도 생기 동네 통해라 동네에 소소리 요간이 되고 서도 안데 이두다 된데 가르스 동네 마 통바이나 닝지 게 도움도 근데 샤사인도 좀 임바이나 호심진 소 한데 제기 유명다 되게 통고로 말봐라 딩무서 통바이나 동네 솔라메 와지도 동네에 통해도 소소리 요간이 되고 서도 너무 초대래 나오 다디 간데스 동네지 고 그래서 뭐라
You know, and I could add just another question. For example, like when we're watching on the television, like right now, when the bombing in Gaza, and so many children are being, killed, it's just unthinkable. And I think most people, we can't look at it. We cannot, in order to really feel the compassion, you have to know what is there, but we're not able to look at it. And people just stop their eyes. So that's the problem that I'm thinking.
Yes, this is something terrible, what you're saying, what we are seeing now. And so that's what I'm saying. As I said earlier, the leaders or the powerful people think using force is way to bring about happiness or bring about more sort of protected world. But I don't think that is the right way to do it. This causes more problems, this causes more hatred, and it will keep on going. And that the future of world is not bright if we keep on doing this. So any kind of conflict anywhere in this world should not be approached through violence. And I totally agree with you on this matter. But like you and me, we have no power. So this is very sad situation. But that's why I was saying we need to really promote compassion and love. And in every level, whether it is in slaughtering animals, whether it is human. No one talks about, when the leaders meet, do they talk about love and compassion? No. They talk about how many bombs they can sell, how many fighter jets they can buy, what for what price, right? How many business deal. No one talks about how to raise children in a peaceful manner. No one talks about how we can bring about more healthier, happier world. No one talks about promoting love and compassion. This is lacking. That's why I'm saying that we all need to work towards it. Yeah.
Just to follow up, my question maybe to you, how do you keep from crying all the time? How do you manage not to be crying all the time?
Because crying will not solve the situation. Our goal is to solve the situation. So if we cry, we disencourage ourselves. And when we encourage ourselves, then that's the end of the story. So we must encourage ourselves. We must think that, we don't wait for someone else to do something, right? If you start to do something, then others will follow you, others will help you, and then you can bring about a change. So we must encourage ourselves. Through seeing those difficulties, we should not disencourage ourselves. We must encourage ourselves to work towards bringing about a more peaceful world through the method of love and compassion. But it demands a lot of time, it demands a lot of effort, but we need to do it in every level. That was what I was trying to say. Make sense? It's like, me the tower wata. Me choose my dev denda koti. so sem shumba kye nyanga yorwa shumba kye nyanga yune ya negab chiko di che ta ko di tablam che ya sam tang ko sam digan shu kya ores.
So Rinpoche's response to your question about what's happening in Gaza, for example, children killed. So should we avoid looking at those things? So Rinpoche is saying that it is true that when we keep on watching those things and looking for a long time, it really discourages and makes us unhappy. But completely avoiding the situation and not looking and watching those things is not the solution. But also we have to take care of ourselves. And also in order to take care of ourselves, we have to find a middle approach, even though we have to look at them and see the reality, what's happening, but we have to also keep ourselves safe, being not totally affected and totally losing your self-esteem. Yeah, we have one question.
Hello, Venerable. Thank you for your teachings. I am wondering what are your thoughts on the collective violence such as bullying and suppression on homosexual relationships and trans lives, which result in suicide and some other cases?
Kurang danda chik nganzo pumunta nyam gi danda chik nganzo maning da de yor wala ani de ge de thol chizo na la da ya ko me ba che konzo la chizo gi shugna da che konzo dong ni shu chung ge shu ge yor de thol ma che ma ha shi mas.
As I said earlier, every living creature is our friends, our dear ones. We should love every community, whether it is man, woman, or LGBT,
No.
LGBT, or whether it is not this is within human being, right? Every living creature, whether it is a bird or ant or whether it is fish, we should love, we should care. Yes.
So we take one question from here first. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your talk. Can you talk about how meditation leads to compassion for the self and compassion for the other?
Compassion for self, the konzo mucho be da dang shu chung ge ro. Rang rang ya chung ze ko me. Rang la chung ze ko me dang shin la chung ze ko me ni ga de kom gi tholam na de sin.
Kom ki tablam.
No. Rang la chung ze ko me da konzo samal ya chung ze shu chung ge je we na shin yang yang de do sam da so so de do de la dong to sam. De konzo de.
When we meditate on compassion for the others, then we automatically sort of our own welfare is not neglected at all. It is automatically there. It is all automatically assaulted.
So when you meditate compassion for other people, so your own well-being is taken care of automatically by that. So you do not need to exert self-compassion purposely as completely separate from compassion for other people. Yeah, we'll take one question from that side.
Hello, and thank you for your teachings. Are there any topics or areas of the modern Western world that you find interesting morally, be it social media or AI, or is there something that you find interesting that you're curious about because it is so new to the modern world?
Social media.
Anything.
Everything is
new.
helpful. Everything. Whether it is AI, whether it is social media, whether it is every modern technology can benefit, bring about benefit. But there are also some kind of disadvantages, which I think we all know about. So it is, but definitely all of that can contribute to towards a better world. Yeah.
Do we have one more? Yeah, we have one question from this side.
Lo, Dudu.
Thank you. My question actually relates to what she asked earlier about compassion for self and compassion for others. And so you already responded to that. But my, it's like we get these inner chatter in the mind, like you shouldn't have done this, there are regrets, there's anger in the mind, the inner chatter of the mind. And it's like I'm at a tea station and I see a homeless man and I walk past him because I'm rushing, but then later I'm thinking, oh, I should have helped him, but I didn't. So I'm not being compassionate to myself because I'm kind of, criticizing myself, the inner chatter going on in the head. So we have to, do you think, practice that compassion for the self first and then others? Because if we are not compassionate to ourselves, do you think we'll be compassionate to others? Because seems like the conflict outside is a reflection of the conflict inside in our minds, in our head, and maybe that's what we are seeing in the world. That's one thing. Do you ever have those kinds of thoughts of regret or, self-criticizing, the mind chattering, because you have been practicing meditation for so long? Do you get those
Do I
thoughts?
get?
Yes.
Criticizing yourself or correcting yourself, I think is, I would say that we must correct ourselves because we do know that we make a lot of mistakes, right? And we realize that, as you said, right? So we must correct ourselves, but also at the same time, we must encourage ourselves. And as I said earlier, we must try our best to become a better human being by correcting ourselves. And so this is not due to the lack of less compassion towards yourself. We are too much attached to ourselves. That's why we create all the problems. So now we need to be balanced. We need to balance out, right? Of course, we need to
So when it comes to concern about self and others, so actually you have to pay more attention and importance to cherishing others. So that doesn't mean that it has to come at the cost of sacrificing your own care and benefit. Of course, you have to care your own self, but if we have to look at which one is more important and which one you have to pay more kind of a priority, then the priority should go to cherishing others. So, Rinpoche, responding to your early question about whether there is a kind of order in practice of self-compassion and compassion towards other. So, Rinpoche actually thinks that there is no such thing as self-compassion. Compassion is always focused on other people, but the understanding or the principle logic behind the compassion for others is that when you practice compassion for other people, your own concern and the benefit is automatically taken care of. It comes automatically. You don't have to exert extra concern and effort to bring happiness for yourself. That's Rinpoche's view.
Kirang tanda di dol concern shirat was. Di ina so rang changzu gongor stidi.
So since you show a lot of concern about how should we practice self-compassion and others compassion towards other people, so when you say that, it actually indicates that at this moment your concern about your own self is stronger than concern for the other people. If the concern and the self others cherishing becomes more stronger, then this kind of questions will generally will not arise in your mind. Yeah, please.
Rinpoche, thank you so much. It strikes me when you're talking about the practice of compassion, I'm just curious to hear if you would be willing to share any stories of your most significant teachers for the practice of compassion, anything that comes to mind. You have stories of your teachers.
Teacher tenzu khalse.
Rinpoche chamzegi kolkalab na yende Rinpoche rangi yivishinye dendegi labja danga tum na dende mise son ye ves chamze da tewa ye ba kong tuyne nga mise ge chamze dende nyamne chung son se ya dawo dende mise ya kong khalis Rinpoche rangi yivishinye dende thone ya yivishinye khona zo ge Rinpoche kalab na jo da dende ge thone chamze ge mise ge ya nyongsor dende yo nas no.
Oh yes, of course. Basically, all the Buddhist teachers, but particularly from my own experience, my teachers, they are very compassionate. And basically, they totally give up their welfare or their sort of worldly kasorta. But yongso le tan loma rang le tutsewa chimana chirwa.
So
shuji nganzu pebe pyu nande lama changma ani ngarang ngos nyamnyu yo so su jigen de nyamnyu yo ba.
So even though Rinpoche says that he knows his teacher very well, but what he thinks is that all the teachers are of same nature, that they give up everything for their own well-being or their own pleasure, but to take care of their students and their disciples. So this shows that teachers are equally compassionate towards their students.
Ani topdang tag mare lajal tag sigi mare ani ming la sigi mare dan mezi yongzo de le tan loma rang ya bu yuan le tu zhe chimben na ro.
And if you look at the teachers within the monastic community, they actually give off their reputation, maybe their money concerns, financial concerns, or any kind of personal gains and the fame and name for the sake of bringing up their students. So this is a pure practice of compassion.
Suppose like His Holiness Dalai Lama, his responsibility for the humanity, right? What he has done throughout his life, still almost is almost 90, and from the beginning, as he was found, he has carried this enormous responsibility for the welfare of all the Tibetans. This is a very difficult time of human history that Tibet was facing, that, you know, and that we had to, we lost our country, and that very, very difficult, very tragic time. So many Tibetans were killed, tortured, and so many monasteries and have been burned down, you know, and there was a time where everything was hopeless, but His Holiness never gave up, and he worked so hard. Until now, he's still working, and throughout he has, he wakes up like almost at 2, nowadays 2 o'clock, sometimes 1:30, yeah. Sometimes attendants have to say, Your Holiness, you have to sleep more, little more, you know. So meditating and reading and benefit of others always throughout. So this is something really very few in this world we see people like that, teachers like him. So, and the goal is to benefit, to teach, to benefit, and for the welfare of others. So this is a great, it's a role model, I would say. And so this is very something that has impressed me, and it would impress anyone, even any community, person from any country or any community, someone who works almost 24 hours when someone is almost 90 and never given up, always encouraged others. So this is very encouraging, yeah.
Yeah, we have one question here.
That's Rinpoche. So recently I saw one of His Holiness Dalai Lama's quote says, "If you seek happiness, help others." Can you please explain a little bit more on this? Thank you.
If you seek happiness, help others. Yes. Yeah, so if you are looking for, seek is to look for, right? If you are looking for happiness, you make the others happy, then you will be happy. If you make others angry, then they will be not nice to you. then you can't be happy. Yeah. So if you want happiness, but we totally neglect others' welfare, and we are very sort of self-cherished attitude, mental attitude, which leads us to all the suffering. And all these disasters are from that result of that. So the method is to, if you want to be happy, you make the others happy, and the others will share love with you, and then you are happy.
Yeah, we'll take one more question from that. Yeah, I think your microphone is not turned on.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah. So this is one of the questions that came into one of my classes here at Harvard itself, and I was not very satisfied with the answer that I received, so I'm just gonna shoot at you. Now that we are talking about violence and war, that's everything that's going on, and this is something that I have been struggling to make my peace with, that can there be peace without violence, or are we bound to be stuck in this binary of peace and violence?
That's what.
The Tibetan namjuna Quran zinda na le ya troling ma wuchi gi dos. The thadun shuwi na ne tsewa pang be ge ni shidi ji yong sig de bes. Zambali na lo le ya shidi se du zamba ka wi na tsewa ma wuchi je ne thama de shidi yong de gi dos. Ndi da tsewa dan jewe gi shidi ji mebe so ro dos.
So pang na shidi yong de bes.
Tsewa kyune mebe gi shidi jang ba ji yor bes. Da na zambali ma shidi to da wa ina ma yak ta ju ji ja ban di je le shidi yong ba. 마 참도 데리 장양 레도스 아니 가도이네 차와데 당보지 네 시데데 쇼 용도스 데데 메버지 차와 큐네 메베가 당문네 시데랑지 탈람 여러베스
차와 큐네 마준다 약슈로 왔다 이 여러 치고 말어 왔다
So Rinpoche thinks that the situation of the world is such that the peace always comes after and the violence first. Is something like the police comes after when incident has been happened. This is my own speaking, sorry. I'm speaking in my own voice, sorry. So Rinpoche, what Rinpoche is saying is that that is a fact that we have to see in this world. But if there is a genuine peace from the beginning, where there is not even any kind of violence, that is the best thing that we want, but that's not going to happen. So therefore, so the current situation is such that at least we have to find peace whenever we see some kind of violence.
단단 안주 추적 돌림 있어 치고 말어. 추적 어떤 신에 자오데 니몬세 빠나 시디 덴도 시디 도구로.
But here today we are not talking about compassion and peace from religious practice point of view. If we talk from spiritual realizations point of view, then there is a state, ultimate state. Once you eliminate and get rid of all the afflicted emotions yourself, and then you reach the nirvana, which is the complete peace, where there is no more violence in your life after that. So we will take one question from here.
Thank you so much for your teaching and guidance. You have mentioned the occupation of Tibet, when thousands of monks were killed and monasteries were destroyed. My country is under occupation as well. 20% of my country is occupied by Russia. I witnessed the war in 2008, and I have constantly this question in my mind: what should be my answer to that? If I wouldn't resist, if I wouldn't use weapons, what can I do? Is peace the only solution there? Not to resist at all? What would be your response in that? Thank you.
Which wants to know your country? Korang urusugi zensung wala che gyaji geju zeche. Tadi indu ne tandabodo da gyurung bushuji muten dara ne de yores. Tadi indu di donglen chi de samba ne kosun lagbo song ne da ma jamne donglen chi tabshi yashwe da tong dos. Tadi kyuna majeba yena ne da shiwe to ne donglen di 내가 불러 참부 매바다 야면나다 시베톤데 동네 칸데스 제고 요나스 코로나 제갑 소라야라.
Yes, very unfortunate situation that you are facing, as I can understand. But at the end, I think the conflict will have to be solved through peace, not through weapons. At the end, I think this is that will be the last solution at the end. Everyone will realize from any side that using force is not the solution.
So we will take one from here first, and then okay, we will take from there first.
So I'm not Tibetan, but I'm Native American. And so right before coming out here to Harvard, I read Shantideva's advice on being courageous and not being afraid. But also I wanted to see if you can expound on his idea of what it means with the cotton ball floating in the wind in terms of having courage and how you feel about having courage and stuff. So thank you, Tijeje.
Kurang ane chedang ari ki dume merik di yins lang. Andi indu kurang ki Harvard mali kona jasa shimba shiwala chunju loba yins. Andi indu samba, sorry, I get distracted. I was drinking water. So can you please repeat the question?
So I was talking about Shantideva's advice of being courageous, but in terms of how he talks about the imagery of the cotton ball floating in the wind, and how you would be flexible and such, but how would you be courageous yet flexible?
아니 계속좀 쉬어라기 신진진 거로 송윤도 좀 봐. 아니 롱나시 롱나 배잖아. 롱생인데 가와이나 유초조 랑신데 요와인바 인자. 딜 배잖아 즉 송도스. 근데 롱게 첼레나 신진의 신된 제고로 스티카는 것도 계속좀 쉬어라기. 근데 제단에 간데 있는 스테이터 다 그런게 로다지 인서를 붙이고 다 저디 신된 지도 좀 봐. 아니 지금 교화단 된데 매바신
신대지도 교화매바
교화단 같이 매바지 아니 가레이나 남상
닝도도 신대지도 닝도도 뺏겨져 버리셨어 닝도 매바이나 아니 기업치고 왔다 전주쌤부터 전주쌤 냠세죠다 전주쌤 뭐 많이 붙여야지 그리고 닝도 매자는 자두고 왔다 강이 녀다 가제 주네 단도 기업 마진 줘도도 아니 다 부드사드바 생 자두고
So Rinpoche's comment is that in the Buddhist understanding, there is such thing as bodhisattvas giving up their bodhisattva vows, unable to perform their duties. So the main thing here is about to continue to keep your aspiration and to help other people as much as possible, whatever the situations or circumstances may come, but you cannot lose your hope and endeavor to perform that task. So that is what Shantideva must be referring to when you talk about looking at the other, benefiting other people like a wind, that can flow everywhere without any hindrance. So similarly, even though challenges may arise, but still you have to be able to do that without losing your hope. So Rinpoche wants to share a Tibetan story, Tibetan cause, the concern that we have with many young Tibetans who are giving up on our freedom struggle, where His Holiness always said that our freedom struggle will not, we have to keep on moving towards our freedom struggle, even though it may not come the next month or next year, but we have to keep our struggle alive and always believing in that it will come very soon. Very soon we will go back to our homeland. So that is the kind of the energy and the strong heart that he has. So for bringing our endeavor forward to benefit the Tibetan people. Yeah, we'll take one question from here.
Thank you very much for your talk, Rinpoche. I was curious, you talked about the importance of cultivating love and compassion, but I didn't quite understand how we maintain that cultivation of love and compassion over days, weeks, our lifetime. And I was wondering if that's through practices like meditation or changing our patterns of thought. How does one maintain that intention?
Oh, that is through a lot of practice. Lot of not compassion and love may look very simple, but it is not that simple. It is through a lot of practice, lot of studying, and really putting into practice. And especially when we face some problem, then we have to make it into action. So that is through a lot of days and months and years of practice. Yes, not easy.
Thank you. Yeah, we will take one final question here.
So when it comes to acts of compassion, how do I know that the decisions that I'm making or the actions that I'm taking are actually benefiting others? Like, for example, if I want to protect someone, so I stop them from doing something, but in reality, I'm actually harming them by restricting them from, learning a lesson or something.
아니 잠바다 인지기 저바데 소소기 냠낸 지기면 참sam하고 면도스 배나 메질이야 소소 도부지 송좀 제가 삼바이나 니게 레디가 참sam들 느끼기로스 어디인데 소소기 자와am 레디 아니 잠바다 인지기 세바이면 간다 사고 있나
수수꾸는 야고요나 if your motivation is clean with good motivation, then I think whether it will make result or not, don't be how should I say dumje delia ani di kasora pe di chigyo maris shivuji ra yoyagi rewa don't hope for a big result. Your approach should be truthful with a non-violent sort of intention. Then whether if shows result, it's good. If it doesn't show result, it's fine. You should know how to accept that also. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do it.
Thank you so much. So thank you everyone for the wonderful questions, and this wonderful session has come to an end. So I once again want to thank all the participants, especially those who asked questions, and the organizers, as I mentioned before, and especially our appreciation and thanks to Rinpoche and his entourage for coming here and blessing all of us with your wisdom and teaching. So once again, on behalf of all the students of Harvard Divinity School, particularly HTS Tibetan student, would like to thank you. And we request you, we pray for your long life, and may all your wishes be fulfilled. And we pray for your return to Harvard Divinity School again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the program has officially ended, but anyone who wishes to receive protection string record from Rinpoche, some blessing, you can stay back. Thank you so much.
Sponsor, Buddhist Ministry Initiative.
Copyright 2024, the President and Fellows of Harvard